Whitburn pulls up for three. Boom! Knocks it down.
Curry from the corner at three. Puts it in.
For overtime, makes it. Garrett, right.
Welcome to the MVP cast once again from me, Mark Woods. Thank you so much as always for joining us back after our mini half-term break. Some great guests lined up over the next few weeks. The podcast in partnership with Odds Index, home of great betting resources where you can get my weekly NBA picks and what odds to take or leave. You can find it all at oddsindex.com. Now, our guest this week is one of the BBL's very best bigs. He's currently manning the middle for the Cheshire Phoenix. He is Michael Ocherobi. Big Mike, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like, Big Mike should be a cliche. Are you one of those players? I mean, you can't get away from your height that likes people constantly pointing out you're big, or are you one of those folks that would rather they never mentioned it again?
I guess I've told people my name's just then when they ask me what's your name, I say Michael, and then automatically they just put big in front of it. So, I mean, it's not like I go around telling people to call me that, but it's something that people have been calling me since my early days, and it's just stuck with me really. I don't really think about it too much anymore. I'm not really bothered right now. Teammates and everything calling me Big Mike is all right, but if my close friends or my family was to call me Big Mike, that would be a bit weird. So,
what age did you sprout? Were you one of these kids that got up early, or were you one that sort of suddenly out of nowhere you elevated?
Yeah, I think it was suddenly out of nowhere. I started basketball pretty late, so I started playing basketball at 17, and going to Gran Canaria, the basketball academy, really helped me sharpen up my tools and catch up on all those years that I missed out on in the early stages of my life. So it all came together pretty quickly for me, and yeah.
Talk about that late journey in a bit, but we're early in the season now, and the next 4 and 5 start in the league. It's part of last year's team, part of a new team. I mean, how satisfied are you guys with that first month and a bit of the season?
There's a few games that we let get away that we should have taken care of, and there's been a few changes to the roster and whatnot. So we're still trying to get used to each other, and a lot of new plays and everything that has changed it. But we know what we're capable of. We've yet to still play 40 minutes of great basketball. We've had stints where we've played 30 or 20. 25 minutes, but it's just getting on the same page and getting it together, and that comes with time. There's you can't really rush that, and I believe that's something that will come anyway.
I mean, this is the new BBL where money talks and there's big ambitions, and a small town club like the Knicks playing out of a relatively small venue. This isn't the place that you guys are supposed to belong. Yet last season, you go off and you win the BBL trophy. And I wonder, was there a certain sort of, big pride in that from, I guess, probably overachieving in the way that we're expecting the league to go now?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. People see us as the underdogs when we play the Londons or the teams with the bigger budgets, but I don't really pay attention to none of that. And our mindset last year going in for the trophy was just to go out there and play. Each and every one of us know what we're capable of. It's your state of mind at the end of the day. We're all human beings. Is how I see it. We're all on equal footing. It's just who puts in the hardest work. Who works harder, who wants it more. Really, that's what it comes down to. Personality.
Do you have to prepare a slightly different way and practice a slightly different way? And then it has there's a little bit more depth this year, but it's not expansive. When you know that you're going to have to play more minutes and the rotation's that bit tighter, how does that change practice? From maybe other teams you've been on where the minutes are going to be spread a little bit more evenly.
Yeah, definitely. Our loads at practice will be a bit lighter if we've had guys that have been playing 30, 35 plus minutes or something like that. We will take the load off. We will go for like an hour and 15 or hour and 10, sometimes even an hour or whatnot. But it would be a hard hour. You know, we would get an intense hour. We'll get what we need to get done within that time, and then after get some shots up, stretch, ice baths. You know, take care of our body. So yeah.
Ben Thomas, you guys don't go back just to when you signed for Cheshire. You guys go way back.
Yeah, we do. Way back, for sure. Met Ben first when I was 18. I think 17, just turning 18, in Gran Canaria, the CBA Basketball Academy in Spain, Gran Canaria.
And what? I mean, I know you were doing there. What was he doing there?
Believe it or not, he wasn't coaching, or he wasn't training to be a coach or an assistant coach. He was actually playing basketball, and he was pretty good. He was pretty good as well.
See, not many people have seen Ben Thomas play. Give us a scouting assessment of the young whippersnapper.
He could shoot the ball pretty well, and he had a lot of energy. So yeah, I'm trying to talk to him to get back into his ways, you know, and lay him up again in practice or something. But
does he ever mix it in practice? Come on, reveal all here. Does he hop in occasionally when you're short-handed?
He hasn't this year, but last year he did. And you know, he still got the touch. He can shoot the ball pretty well, but you know, like you said, the year is still young, the season's still young. So hopefully, he brings out those the shoes and he laces them back up, and you know, we go again for old time's sake.
How many times have you blocked him in practice?
Have I blocked him in practice? Well, this year, because he hasn't practiced with us, not once, but last year, if I can remember, maybe twice or 3 times. But you know, I take it easy on him. Don't want to hurt his feelings, you know. So he's very competitive. He's competitive. He's competitive like myself. So yeah, I'll say about 2-3 times anyway in practice when he did practice with us.
You mentioned you're a late starter, and yeah, it's not uncommon in British basketball for guys to get pulled in late. But when you've got height, you kind of expect someone to, well, maybe get on a chair and tap you on the shoulder and say you should try basketball. What was your route into the sport that kind of took you so long to find this and to discover this was your thing?
Yeah, well, before basketball, I used to box, and I used to play football as well. And one of my close friends from my area in London, he used to go play basketball. He doesn't anymore. His name is Emmanuel, and he just told me to come down to practice one day. He was like, "Oh, you're tall, you know." Like, I kept growing, and he's like, "Oh, you're getting taller and taller. Like, come down to basketball, and you know, just see what you think about it, see how you like it." Went down that once and never looked back. Really, fell in love with it. Didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I was just like, "This is fun," you know. Like, I enjoy this. So I just stuck with it since then.
What sort of boxer were you? What sort of footballer were you?
Boxer. I used to box at Bethnal Green, the Bethnal Green gym.
Great gym, very well known.
Yeah. It was amateur. It was amateur fighting because I used to get into a lot of fights when I was younger. So my dad was just like, you know, if you're gonna be fighting, you know, you might as well put it towards something positive, and discipline yourself, you know. So definitely learned a lot. Took a lot from boxing in terms of disciplining myself and how to carry and handle myself, you know, as a man. And football, I stopped playing football maybe about the age of 14 or 15. And again, my mum and my dad was very supportive. They took me around the country, really. I used to play for Hackney. I can't remember what the name was, but I'm from Hackney anyway. But I played from a Hackney football team, the youth team, and they used to take me around the country just to all different camps and whatnot. So, yeah.
I mean, people talk a lot about that discipline that kids can get from sport. And yeah, boxing, one of those sports, I was speaking to a boxing coach this week, you know, who was, you know, eulogizing the difference that his setup made in terms of, yeah, and you mentioned the D word, discipline. You know, it helps so many kids that maybe are getting into bumps and scrapes and you just need that focus on it. Where did it come from for you? I mean, what did that teach you that you maybe needed at the time?
Just to how to stay composed and not to always lead with my emotions. It's very easy to take the easy way out, to be negative, or to the first resolution to try and fight. Instead of trying to talk your way out of situations and trying to be humble and calm and whatnot. Those are the tough things to do. So boxing really taught me that anyway, and also like waking up super early, taking care of your body, going to sleep early, dieting as well, just to be a better man all around, really.
I mean, you mentioned it was your dad, George, who took you along to it. How much of a persuasion job did it take him to get you to I guess commit to that?
I mean, it wasn't really too difficult because I was a bit bad when I was younger. I was a bit noisy, so he was either like, "You're not going out, you're grounded," or it was either gonna send me back to Nigeria, or start doing this, start boxing and start putting that negative energy into something positive. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on board and listen to what big man has to say.
What was the best advice you got then from the coaches that you were working with?
The best advice. I would always say just like I would say that one of my coaches said to me that people will always doubt you. People always they won't believe that you're capable of doing things, but you have to believe in yourself, and you have to go out there, and anything that you want, you have to go out there and strive to get it. So I've kept that with me my whole career, my whole life, and I see myself as like the underdog. Like nothing is given. You have to earn everything. You have to work for everything, and not to have that victim mentality. He told me that nobody's going to feel sorry for you, so you shouldn't feel sorry for yourself. And that's something that's always stuck with me. You just got to go out there and work. You got to go and get it. We're in a blessed and privileged situation. Waking up every day doing what we love, so we've got nothing to complain about. We just have to go and get it.
That's a bit like the Rocky Balboa philosophy here. Yeah, it's straight out of the boxing ring.
Yeah.
The original
very
one,
motivational, yeah.
With hoops, and you said like a friend gets you along, and you were kind of lucky. You were within two of the programs in London, which are notorious for bringing through talent, but also doing great things off the court as well, which is Haringey and then Hackney Whitehead. You're obviously big, and there's a coordination thing there, and it takes a bit of time to get used to basketball. How quickly will you be able to grasp all this, all the mechanics and the motion and the skill of all this?
It took me a while. I remember the first practice, they was telling me to post up, and I had no idea what it was talking about. I was just running around. I was running around on the court, and they was like, post up, Mike. And I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. But took me a while to get it, and the rules and the travel and double dribble and all of that stuff. But I got it down in the end, thank God. But Gran Canaria was a big factor in that, because we would practice three times a day, every day. So you have no option but to succeed, but to get better, and that was the big pillar big stepping stone in my career anyway. Without that, I don't think I would have caught up so quickly,
What do you think? I mean, a lot of guys have gone to that academy over the years, and British players, because they've looked heavily at this country. What's the skill development like there that you think probably was distinct or added something different that maybe you couldn't have got so easily here?
It's basketball, isn't it? It's eat, sleep, wake up, breathe. It's just basketball. Like as soon as you step off that plane and you're on that island, it's basketball. And it just teaches you everything. It teaches you the ins and outs, on the court, off the court, plays, how to see the game. It's very tough as well for the younger athletes, when they're going through that. It is make or break because you get homesick as well. A lot of guys felt like they loved basketball, but they went there and when they saw how much we had to put in to become a good basketball player, you know, a lot of them couldn't hack it and they went home early. So it was a really good learning experience and definitely taught me a lot of things anyway.
Do you think it helps sometimes, it's an opportunity that not many people from amongst British players have taken. I mean, you look at Joel Freeland, you look at Dan Clark, but you know, most guys go to the States as soon as they possibly can. Do you think for you it was helpful to kind of have that removal from your comfort zone before you went to America?
Yeah, 100%. Without me even knowing, back then that was like the easiest way to go to America. It was either that or you literally had to tell your friend to record you at games in Space and Hackney or Haringey in Tottenham, and you would look up schools in America and, you know, send a tape out to their addresses, and that wasn't really successful, you know. So going to Gran Canaria was like the best bet back then because they would bring the American coaches or assistant coaches down to watch you play, and you know that was the best opportunity anyway to watch you play. Plus, it definitely it takes you out your comfort zone. So not knowing it at the time, you're going to be out of your comfort zone a lot when you're abroad and when you're playing professionally and whatnot. So going through that then and being able to get through those hard times definitely helped me further on down the line.
You had that season summer, you know, when you played for GB under-20s, and you were relatively probably inexperienced at that time. I mean, do you think that was incredibly useful in terms of exposing you to, you know, the bigger world of basketball as well, in a sense, but also probably giving you that piece of film or that resume builder that you could hold up to other people, and especially in America, and say, actually, you know, amongst my peers here, people actually rate me?
Yeah, no, definitely. That was to my first time doing international basketball, going out there and seeing all the talents from different countries, seeing guys from Belgium, Germany, Romania, and like, wow, like, you know, like these countries have actually got some hoopers. You know, I didn't really think much about them before, but seeing that firsthand at that age when I was 19, I think. Or 18, and I was like, wow, these guys can really hoop, they can really ball. And still obviously early stages of my career, so still rough, still a bit raw, ball in a china shop, still trying to get it down. And you know, just look at the guys that have been there previous years before me, and you know, taking notes and learning.
I mean, it's a topical subject this week, or you know, these few weeks. I mean, we're sitting here waiting, which seems ridiculous, that to find out whether there's going to be GB youth teams next year. There's going to be, you know, under 16, under 18, whether the under 20 team's coming back. I mean, as someone that's come through that, how much of a loss would it be, you know, not to have the under 20s back, but, you know, for the kids, the next generations, I mean, you see some of them at the Knicks now, to not have that opportunity in their development?
I mean, I didn't even know nothing about that, but that would be a big shame though, because you know it starts with the youth. You know, you have to invest in the youth and give gifts to the youth. Anyway, they're our future, so we're only as successful as they are. You know, and everything we're doing now with the BBL and you know the money coming in and all of that is for the youth, and hopefully they can take it to another level. So we have to start at the grassroots. We have to develop the talent over here, and that starts with having the youth junior, the youth national teams, and building it up. You know, just like other countries, they invest heavily in their youth, and I believe we should do the same.
When you went to the States and you 2 years in JUCO, junior college at Highland, and then you went on to Western Illinois, did that move your game on as much as you'd anticipated with skill development? Because you know a lot of it's about winning now. But, you know, that skill development and the nuance and all that tactical stuff that you kind of expect.
I would say JUCO not so much. JUCO was kind of like free for all. You know, you got to figure it out. It's a man over there. Like you're put there, and you got to survive and make it out to get that. Everybody's fighting for a scholarship. People are there either because it was the SATs or second chance, or they did something crazy. So everybody's out there just trying to make it out, you know. But I'll say when I went to Western, for sure, I had some great coaches. And yeah, they really broke it down to me and showed me different ways and how I can improve my game.
Does that come back again to the boxing analogy? But is that where the discipline really kicks in, when you have to fight in a different way, obviously, and you have to be dedicated and you have to push for those extra edges, because if you don't, people notice, and if you don't, people will not give you that bigger opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. You know, like I said again, we're privileged to be doing this, to be playing this sport. So whilst we're doing it, you might as well give it 1,000%, give it your all, because once it's done, it's done. And I don't want no regrets. I want to know that I left everything out there and I went as hard as I can go. Every possession, every play, you know.
When you came back from the States, now, most people are going to rock up at a Cheshire or a Surrey or find a route to come back home. Not many British players, I don't mean to stereotype us, but we're not the most adventurous of nations. You go to the fourth tier in France for 2 years and play there, and that's a grind. It's semi-pro. It's it's a bit. I suppose it's like the JUCO of French basketball in a sense. Why did you choose there, and what was this? I guess the learning curve or the learning opportunity like at that level.
I would say my decision to go there was me being I was young, and you have a lot of guys reaching out to you as soon as you're finishing college. Knowing what I know now, I would have probably made some different decisions. I don't regret any decision I made, because I'm happy where I am now and the man that I am now. But the things that I know now with certain agents is they just some of them just want their 10%. They don't really care where they place you, as long as you place somewhere and they're getting their 10%. That's where they'll put you. So and my parents didn't know nothing about basketball, so I didn't really have no one to tell me that, that's like fourth tier. I didn't know how good fourth and the third tier in France is like a big jump, It's a really big jump, like NM1 to NM2. So I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of any of those things. But being there, I met some fantastic people. Basketball was good as well. But it wasn't the fourth tier wasn't as respected as the third tier or even second tier or whatnot, and to come out of that is tough. I didn't have no one to tell me that if you play at those levels, to come out and play at a high level is way more difficult, So yeah.
What's the level like though? Because if you go to fourth tier in this country, which is NBL 3, if it's still called that. I mean, it's not even semi-pro. I'm sure no one's getting paid much. The fact is, you were going over there, you must have getting paid something, because no one does this for free. But how competitive was it for you?
It was good. The fourth tier over there is not as bad as it sounds. Like, yeah, I know you hear fourth tier and you're like, wow, fucking fourth tier. Like, oh my gosh. But it's, I would say it's like D1 over here, maybe a bit better than D1. Like, it's kind of in between it. It's in between. You have some guys that can really hoop, that can really ball, and then you have a lot of the guys that played Pro B or Pro A and in their later stages of their career, maybe like late 30s or even early 40s, and they're playing still for the love of it, but they're playing at a lower tier. So it is really good basketball still. It's just not as respected.
When you come back here for a season with Surrey and then you went back to play in Bordeaux, fourth tier again, one of my favourite cities. Great, not a bad place to spend a year, and you spell in Italy as well. Off the court, what's the best part of that travelling experience?
Of course, just meeting new people and seeing how people live in different countries and their culture, learning new cultures, and because I grew up in London, so I'm a city boy, and it's very easy to get caught in all this materialistic stuff. But when you see other people in different countries and they get through with bare minimum, or the materialistic things doesn't really matter to them, and they're still just enjoying life and just happy and whatnot, it really opens up your mind and your perspective on life, and makes you grow as a man, to see different things. So Bordeaux was probably one of the best cities I played in. I enjoyed it a lot. The living was good. And yeah, definitely a city I definitely want to revisit and go back to anyway when it's all said and done, and just probably chill out there.
How much did it make you realise the difference between good wine and bad wine?
A lot. The Bordeaux was definitely Bordeaux was one of my places where I discovered my love for wine. So because after every home game they would give us like a crate of wine to take home with us back to our apartments, and I would just be trying all the different wines, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is nice. Oh, that's not too good. Oh, this is really good. That's good. And you go into restaurants and, the chefs and the people are recommending, oh, drink this wine with that, or eat this with that. And yeah, so it really helped me anyway with understanding like the hype about wine, because I never got the hype before, but I understand it now.
So when you guys are, you'll have your team dinners at certain times, are you the one that's entrusted with the, we're eating this, we're having that? Yeah, for sure. Even like every Monday I have a wine day. I call it Moscato Monday. It's more of a sweet wine, so it's for the desserts and whatnot, but and also like the red wine with the meats and whatnot. So yeah, I'm big on that anyway. I'm very big on that. There you go. That could be the next career option. Wine
Yeah.
expert. There's a word for it. I can't think of it. It's campanologist. Maybe I'm making that up, but so I was curious. There's always been big guys with glasses. When did you have to wear glasses, and what's the trick for it? Because most guys would just go and get their eyes up to wear lenses. Why the specs?
Okay, so when I was in most of my career, I played without glasses or contacts or anything. And then when I got to Division 1, Western Illinois, my coach said to me, you either have to put on contacts or you're getting goggles or you're not playing, because I was squinting. I'm short-sighted, so I was always squinting on the court, and he was like, you have to put in contacts or get goggles. So we went to the opticians and we was there for hours trying to put in contacts, but I can't touch my eye. So it was goggles. It had to be goggles. And at first it was a bit weird for me. I felt like, I used to wear knee pads as well. So I was like, I'm a big guy with knee pads and goggles. Like, we're taking it back to the 70s now or something, I felt a bit weird, but as I kept playing and kept wearing them, I got used to it. And it's kind of, it's me now. When people talk about me, is, oh yeah, the guy with the goggles, so it's a part of me now. I embrace it and I love it now. Yeah.
Do you? Obviously there's specialized ones in terms of the goggles for basketball. Do you have like spare pairs sitting on the bench?
Yeah. I've got two pairs. They're Oakleys. So yeah, they're very durable. I've been smacked a lot of times in the head, and they break off a little bit, but then you can clip them back in. So yeah, they're durable, they're good, they're expensive, but they're worth the money. And yeah.
When you were growing up, I know we talk about sporting background. You were saying boxing, you were saying football, but there's a new Olympic sport coming in Paris, and it's not. Most people when you mention it are going, really? That's a sport? But you were a breakdancing legend.
Well, I don't know about the legend. I might have been a legend in my area in Hackney, but yeah, I used to break dance when I was 15, 16, and it was only for about 5 months or something like that. Me and my cousin Ken. We used to go to these off license and ask for the cardboard boxes that they weren't using or they was going to throw away. They'll give it to us, and we'll go to a park and just lay them out on the park floor, and we'll just start dancing, start pop locking and break dancing and whatnot. So yeah, what I was thinking, I have no idea, but But yeah, we did it anyway.
Are there videos available of this? And more importantly, are they on the internet?
I hope they're not on the internet. Internet back then wasn't really like it is today, but maybe my cousin might have some videos because he likes to keep on to all those things. I for sure haven't got none, but I'm gonna ask him if he's got any because that would be good to revisit and look at it and get some laughs.
Let's just cut this out, cousin. If you're listening, just put them up, tweet it at us. We'll get it out. I mean, talking of videos, I mean, your other sort of passion away from basketball and is videos and making videos and videography. What kind of stuff have you done? I mean, what's your thing when it comes to sticking a camera and a microphone, tripod, whatever you've got, and creating something?
So just capturing moments and different sceneries and emotions and feelings and whatnot. I've got a page on Instagram. It's called Chuma Visions. And it's just like capturing streets, culture, people, and the music to match the emotions of the video. Something that I always think about anyway. And I see things and I'm just like, okay, that will go well with this, or that sound will go well with this video and this, that, and the other. So I just try and merge it together. It's in my head. It's always playing in my head. So I'm like, I might as well get out there and just try and do something with it and see where it goes. So it's a fun hobby, something that I enjoy doing. And yeah.
What's the importance of having that sort of creative outlet?
What's the importance of having that
creative, juices, or like your creative juices have an outlet?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's it's really important, to find. It doesn't feel like it's not like a demanding chore or nothing. It's just it takes my mind off things. It's like therapeutic, almost doing those things and recording and capturing different scenes and sceneries. And I think it's good for the soul. It's good for the mind. It's good to put yourself at peace and at ease, And I believe everybody's got a calling, and the things that you constantly think about and see that nobody else can see is your calling, So just feed into that.
Do you think you can draw with that? I mean, from you've had lots of these rich experiences in different places, and ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you feel that helps when you're, as I do sometimes, you're looking for a different angle, or you're looking for something that, as you said, no one else has spotted, that's just there, in front of you, but you're the only person that's worked this out or sensed something from it?
I think so. Yeah, that's the tricky part for like all the athletes, like, because basketball we love to do this. It doesn't feel like work. So I think like after basketball is finding something else that we love that doesn't feel like work. That's the difficult part for most athletes. And this is something that I really enjoy and I do from time to time. I haven't been as active lately, but definitely will be getting back on it. But yeah, I believe it is important to find that one thing that you enjoy doing, even if you do have other types of jobs, but you take time away from that to feed your soul, to pursue what you want to do anyway. I believe that's really important anyway. To what's the word I'm looking for? To give your time, to give yourself some time and to do what you want to do, and achieve what you want to achieve.
Does that help decompress a bit? I know you don't always have time to do it, but sport can be relentless and it can be tiring physically and mentally. And there is that, even at this level, there's the pressure to win and there's the pressure to perform. I mean, what do you use that as part of a kind of regime, a sort of decompression, or a valve to let that competitiveness ease away at times?
It helps. It helps at times. It takes your mind off it. You come back home. When I come back home from work, I don't want to think about basketball. That's the last thing I want to think about. I want to take my mind away from that and focus on other things. So it definitely helps, and it's good to have other hobbies and things that you're interested in. I think it's healthy anyway. So yeah, it definitely helps with just putting my mind at ease and clearing my mind, and just focusing on other things.
I know you're a big tech guy. What's the gadget or machine of choice?
Tech guy. Well, I've got the PS5, and I'm really into like monitors as well. So I've got the Samsung Neo G8. It's like a 240 refresh rate. I don't know if you know anything about that. If you're into that tech kind of stuff, it's a VA panel and all of that. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of research into these kind of things. So I'm just playing around with a lot of things really, and just seeing where my heart goes.
What's your PlayStation game of choice?
To the PS5 game right now, I've been playing a lot of FIFA. To be fair, FIFA 23.
And is there a BBL kind of league or channel that you guys will play each other? Other teams playing each other?
No, there actually isn't, and that would be a good idea to set something up, because I know a lot of the guys will probably be on the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatnot. So that'd be good to get some streaming up or something.
Exactly. That takes the rivalry into midweek, and then you do it all on the code at the weekend. I mean, you're 33 now. Sure, you'd love to be 23 at times. How much longer do you see yourself playing? I mean, you're still at a great level, but no one's getting rich here, at least not in Cheshire. How much longer do you see yourself playing this game at this sort of level?
I would say probably about maybe four more years. I feel the best I felt, to be fair. I feel better than I did when I was 25, 26. And for me, it is for the love of the sport, Like I said before, once it's done, it's done. There's no retiring early and then feeling like I got sand in the tank and trying to come back. I just want to leave it all out there. And once I close that door, that door is closed, So just keep taking care of my body, keep going out there every day and giving it my all. And once my body says to me, Mike, it's time to hang it up, you're getting there now, then that'll be the day I'll stop.
I'll take you back 10 years to when you were at college. And we all think about things then, and 10 years later we've changed our minds completely. You said then, when I'm finished playing, I'd like to be a coach, and I'd like to work with kids with disabilities specifically. Is that still a thing, or would you like to be a coach, or where does it go?
I'll definitely still like to be involved in the basketball, and definitely grassroots, giving back to the youth and community as well, especially where I grew up in Hackney. It very much still is a thing, and that's very important to me as well, to give back to the youth. They're our future, they're our way forward. And I'm fortunate enough to have played in countries that I played in and played at different leagues and meet different people and absorb all this knowledge. So it would be unfair for me not to give it back, and not to share what I've learned in all these different countries and different places, and hopefully help another young male or female achieve more than I've achieved, and reach higher places than I have. So that's key.
Last one in this season, where the week after London lost to a domestic team, you guys beat them in the final last season. You and everyone else now thinking, let's aim for trophies this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that regardless. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, I know obviously they're certain teams are the favourites and whatnot, but like I said, we all human beings. There's nobody's Superman or anything like that. It's just whoever wants it more, whoever plays harder. So I go into every game. I respect every team, every opponent. I don't overlook nobody, no matter where they are in the league or how much money the team has. You just have to go out there and just play hard every possession, really. And
they don't have goggles.
And they don't have. That's my secret superpower. So.
Well, Mike, the superpower, long may it continue. It is great talking to you. Thank you so much for guesting, and have a great rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
that is it for this edition of the MVP Cast. Before we go, we would like to say Chris Harris passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 89. He was, of course, the first Brit in the NBA. That we've probably not done enough to recognise that accomplishment, and I've been lucky enough to speak to him over the years. We've done a great podcast with him a while ago. If you haven't heard his story, I encourage you to go back and listen to him. You can get it, of course, via your podcast provider or via MVP247.com. But on behalf of all of us in British Basketball, we send our condolences to his family. You can follow us on Facebook at MVPcast or on Twitter at MVP_247. That is it for this edition. For me, Mark Woods, thank you so much for listening, and it's goodbye.